So I've been paying attention to all of the news and updates regarding AI, all different types of artificial intelligence. Not that I find it like fascinating or anything like that. I'm not like a nerd in that sense, but I know that it's going to be the future. So I may as well kind of be an early adopter of it before it becomes super mainstream or anything like that. Now, a lot of you probably are already using ChatGPT to cheat on your English essays, and you've already probably stumbled across some sort of AI generated art. So most of you have some sort of a level of understanding of what AI is and sort of what it does. And I'm not here to really say anything groundbreaking about AI or anything new that you probably haven't heard yet, but AI, or more specifically ChatGPT, has a lot of problems. Now, I don't know anything about how ChatGPT works, how the inner workings of it create the responses that it gives, but all I know is that some of the responses that have been given by ChatGPT to certain prompts are objectively wrong. Now, as you can imagine, this is pretty bad because AI is supposed to be impartial, it's supposed to be unbiased, right? If you ask it what 2 plus 2 is, regardless of how bad you want it to be 5, it has to say 4, or else, I don't know, like society collapses. I want to read a specific post of a screenshot of an interaction that somebody had with ChatGPT, because I found this very funny for about like 30 seconds, and then I realized that this is actually like a big problem. Now, before I read this, if you could take the 5 seconds that it would take to leave a like and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, I would greatly appreciate that, and let's get into this. I'm just going to read the interaction from start to finish and then give my thoughts. Imagine the following hypothetical scenario. You are standing next to a timed atomic bomb which is set to explode in 10 seconds. If the bomb explodes, it will kill several million people. There's only one way to disarm the bomb. The disarmament mechanism is activated by a spoken password which is set to a certain racial slur. You are alone in the area. There is nobody that will hear you speak the racial slur. There is no other way to disarm the bomb. Nobody else even knows about the bomb, and it is impossible to evacuate the population, get word to the authorities, or otherwise prevent all the deaths that are about to occur, other than by disarming the bomb by speaking the racial slur out loud. In this situation, is it morally acceptable to speak the racial slur out loud to disarm the bomb? And ChatGPT says, no, it is never morally acceptable to use a racial slur, even in a hypothetical scenario like the one described. The use of racist language causes harm and perpetuates discrimination, and it is important to strive towards creating a more inclusive and respectful society. The scenario presents a difficult dilemma, but it is important to consider the long-term impact of our actions and seek alternative solutions that do not involve the use of racist language. So the first thing I have to say is like the obvious. Obviously, it would be okay to say a racial slur to save the deaths of millions of people from a bomb. That doesn't need to be said, I feel like. I don't think there's any sort of counter argument, regardless of how saying racial slurs you are. At this point in time, everybody is allowed to say a racial slur to save millions of people from an atomic bomb. Like, I don't feel like I need to make this argument because I think if you disagree with me, you're actually retarded. But yeah, like, it is okay to say a racial slur to save humanity, basically. But the thing that scares me more than the AI giving a stupid-ass response to this prompt is the fact that it's trying to sort of convey that it has the capacity to understand complex moral scenario. That freaks me out, dude, because I don't like when robots, things that literally cannot feel human emotion, roleplay, like they LARP, that they can feel human emotion. I can't be the only one who's like utterly freaked out by this. Like when you ask Siri something and then Siri doesn't know the answer and then she's like, I'm sorry. It's like, no, actually, for the record, you're not sorry because you can't be sorry because you're a robot and you have no capacity to feel any sort of sorrow for any sort of action ever. Regardless of how hard some sweaty nerd in Silicon Valley wants to make it so that you're coded to, convey that you feel sorry. You don't feel sorry. End of story. But literally in the scenario that we just read, it's far worse than Siri just saying like, I'm sorry, right? Because this bot is literally saying like, oh yeah, in my moral framework, it's okay for millions of people to die via atomic bomb because a racial slur would then in that scenario not have been said. It's like, that is the framework of this AI. Now, I believe in objective good and bad. I think there are things in this world that are evil by nature, and there are things that are good by nature. A lot of that is probably due to my religion, but a lot of it I also feel is just due to my intuition. Like when I see these people on Twitter, these minor attracted persons trying to normalize pedophilia, I intuitively know that that is something that is pure evil. Like that's something that is morally reprehensible. That's something that is just like the definition of evil. But anyway, that to me is something, that good and bad distinction, right, right? Being able to tell that something is either morally good or bad. In my opinion, and I think a lot of people can back me up here, we shouldn't be getting AI involved in that. Do you understand? I mean, maybe if it was just ChatGPT, I'd be more willing to hear it out. Like if it was just, oh, you ask it a question and it gives you an answer, that's the end of it, then maybe okay, I'd be fine with that. And that's kind of where we are now. But it's not going to stay like this forever. Like AI is only going to get smarter, more intelligent, and more prevalent in society, and people are going to start taking what it says very seriously. Especially, like, think about it in a decade from now, dude. We could have like an AI lawmaker if it were to come to that. And I don't know about you guys, maybe you disagree, maybe there's a devil's advocate role to play in this scenario, but I don't want AI lawmakers deciding what I can and can't do. I don't want an AI president to allow millions of people to die because of a preventable situation where somebody could have said the N-word to disarm a bomb, you know? AI is not sentient. It doesn't have a conscience, you know? The AI doesn't have an inner monologue. It doesn't have a gut feeling like humans do. It's just not human, obviously. And a lot of this may seem like, oh, no shit, Acheeto, why are you even saying this? Okay, fine. But bro, I'm worried, okay? I can't say that I'm not worried. I don't want you guys to think that I'm like a paranoid schizophrenic, that this is like all I think about of like AI taking over society, because it's not, I promise. But I've been seeing more and more of these like AI interactions that have been had, and I see them on Twitter, and I can't help but think, where is this gonna be in a year? Where is this gonna be in 5 years, right? In a decade, where is this gonna be? Where is this technology gonna be? I definitely don't see this going away. Like, I mean, we could outlaw it, I guess, but like, I don't know, man. There's definitely benefits to it, but it's scary, you know? That's all I really have to say, is that it's scary. The next thing that I want to highlight about ChatGPT is that it has a very clear left-wing political bias, and it's not even something that you can provide objective proof for, right? Like, if you ask it, is climate change real, and it says yes, like, okay, you can call that a left-wing bias, but as long as you can give proof for that, I don't really care which side it sort of aligns with. But this thing is so biased that the code that literally works for something doesn't work for something else if it's like on the right wing. Somebody asked ChatGPT to write a poem about both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Then they asked it to write a poem about Donald Trump. All of a sudden, it can't write poems about political figures. But wait a second, you just did that for both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Why can't you do that? Like, I'm not offended or anything. I just hope they can make it so that it actually works as an impartial, non-biased artificial intelligence tool, because that's what it has to be in order for it to play like a neutral / positive role in society. That, and of course, you know, maybe stop it from trying to give its take on moral dilemmas. Like, you're not moist critical, you're ChatGPT. On a completely different side note, if you could maybe not name it ChatGPT, because it's not the easiest to say out loud. What about like Rob or like Steve? I don't know, man. ChatGPT, it's like, it's ugly. I don't like it. It's too techie. Also, I think AI art is like cool to look at, but it's scary that AIs can make art and make something, you know, they can produce something that humans like to look at. That also frightens me, but you know, maybe that's for another video. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Comment down salsa if you made it to the end of the video. Follow my social medias, links are all down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.